about abuse, okay? Because the first one I talked about just generally, and because if I added my story, I thought it would be too long, so I'm gonna make this my story about abuse. My first experience with abuse, I wasn't 5 years old, okay? Jose, my father beat my mother so hard, he beat her into the ground, right? Till she collapsed onto the ground. And then he continued to, and then he just kicked her and kicked her and kicked her and kicked her. And he kicked her. He kicked her. And he kicked her. And he just, I don't remember him not kicking her. I don't remember the end. All my memory is kicking and kicking and kicking. Okay? I was in a room. My baby sister was in the room. And my older sister, about 4 years older than me, she might have been 9 at the time, was in the room. This is so devastating. I didn't know my older sister was in the room. I remember clutching my baby sister. We're here underage, holding each other, crying. And let me tell you, Dad did not mind that we were begging him, holding each other to stop. He did not mind kicking his wife into the ground in front of us. Okay? So, it would cause a nightmare. And you know how the family responded? They said it didn't happen. So, not for a couple years, not for 5 years, for decades, they said this traumatizing event never happened. So now I'm attacking myself. Okay? How dare you think this evil thing of your father that never happened? Okay? Because in our society, I'm talking about American society, because each society norms is different. All right? So my society norm, Christian household, is once he goes to church and he's sorry, it's like it didn't happen, and they want us to treat it like it didn't happen. It's so catastrophic that I have lost decades of my memory, because the brain works. The brain don't just say, okay, we're gonna shut down just this small area. All the memories around that area is affected. So I lost my childhood. I don't remember first, second, third, fourth, fifth grades. Do not remember those years at all. I remember 6th grade. Another half, I don't really remember 8th grade. You know, that kind of stuff. Whole year's gone. All right. Yeah, I think I was near 30 before they admitted it actually occurred. Okay. Yeah, Jose, near 30.
Huh.
All right. Reason why. Okay, doesn't matter. We're gonna story time. That wasn't the only stressful event in regards to abuse. Because as growing up, as you can tell, I look like a girl, right? I look like a girl. I look like a girl since 9 years old. And you're a lady, you understand what I'm saying. You know, since 9 years old, I always look like a girl. And my grandfather, liked that I looked like a girl. So he put his penis on me. Right? My sister was nearby, the baby sister. I ran to her. We run out of the house. Told Mom, stayed there. With the abuser. We stayed with the abuser. We had to stay with the abuser. I'm telling you, my memory's so terrible. It might have been a year or two, at least a year, okay, before we were able to move out. And I didn't have to live with the abuser anymore. But at the time, because of my culture, okay, remember I told you about the culture that we don't talk about those things, right? So there was no conversation about that either. My mother didn't even bother to say, I believe you. Right? Couldn't say it. I believe you. She gonna say, this is decades later. I'm not talking about a couple of weeks. I'm not talking about a couple of months. I'm not talking about a couple of years. Decades. I'm sorry you feel bad. I think was what I got. Right? One in 3 women, I think I read once, have experienced abuse and seen abuse. Okay? 1 in 3. So when you see some people acting like this doesn't happen, or this something, you know what I'm saying, in regards to women, they probably are abuser. But let me go to the last story. In high school, football player beating up the girlfriend, right? So that means we are all minors. We are all minors. One day he beat the girlfriend, dragged her to a house. We were minors, but we're 16, so we're able to get in the car and drive. So we drove over there, me and 3 other girls, to beg this football player to let his girlfriend go. Of course, he said no. We called the police. Because, of course, right? He is holding her hostage. Some reason it's not hostage when you have the skin, to me. With this skin, no hostage necessary, to me. So we called the police. Police came, walked in there, walked out. He said, the police said she didn't want to leave. There's nothing going on. Do I need to tell the people in the back of the room that the abuser is right here? It might as well be a gun in her back. You know how the gun back tell the police that everything's okay, we're just having ice cream, right? And left. The cops went in there, saw. Of course, she's sitting there. The guy looking at her and said, say something. You know how you can look at a person and say something? She's like, nothing's going on. I'm just here with my loving boyfriend. Cop leaves. Somehow, during this interaction, the cops are gone. It's now 3 girls, right? And the girl that's in prison, and 1 football player who could beat us all. She runs to the door. You know how you yank the door open? So she yanked the door open to grab it, to run out. We grab her, like we grab her on our arms. He's grabbing her, pulling her back, right? Now, you know how a football player would punch? So, the door is cracked. So, he's doing this to us. So, we're grabbing it, trying to do this from, trying to avoid his fist and still hold on to the girl. We kept, 3 of us, holding on to this girl while he's punching at us. We fell. All us fell. She actually fell out with us. Right? We fell out the house, fell out the door, on the ground. We grabbed, all of us wrapped our bodies around her. He's punching, right? He's punching. He's just hitting any flesh he could get to. We run to the car. He chases out there. We grab the door. We get out of there. He's still grabbing her, kicking her, trying to pull her out the car. That's how helpful cops are. And I really think it's because of this. Guys, abuse doesn't just stop when you report it. Abuse doesn't just stop if he's sorry. Abuse doesn't just stop if he's sorry again. And it doesn't stop if you say, this time he's not going to do it. This time I feel like he's sincere, so he's not going to hurt me again. And remember, I said this before. If you see me, you could look at me and say, listen, I can't go home. And we'll figure it out after the fact, okay? Just let me know. Yeah. And here's the phone number at the bottom. Okay. All right. Story time over.